So, a lot of artists online will talk about this thing called artist block. And it happens when you just kind of run out of ideas or you run out of motivation or something happens where you just can't create the way you used to. And it sucks, it really does. You you don't your self-esteem just plummets. You don't really feel like it's working for you. You consider you might do something else other than create. Whenever you try and sit down and make something, you just never have quite any ideas. It's not enjoyable to do. And maybe this is you right now, or maybe it has happened to you before. It had happened to me quite recently, and I wanted to share what got me out of that mindset and what got me into starting to make things again. And it felt really great. I mean, it wasn't quite the same as it used to be, where I would just naturally want to do this stuff. Like, it feels a bit different, of course, but you look at the results you get, and it's a lot better than sitting around and feeling sad that you're not making stuff. And then the more you do it, the better it gets. So the thing that got me to start making again, to start creating things, is to make the habit in your head, or it's just make it a part of your day. And there was a really powerful saying that got to me where when you build a wall, for example, or a house, any kind of project, you don't just have it immediately. You don't just have the wall there in one day. You have to build it a brick at a time. You have to lay one brick and then the next brick and then the next brick. And then eventually you have a finished product. But then you got to build the other wall of the house, and you got to build another wall, and then eventually you might have a house, and that's great. And then you got to make the next house and the next one. So I think that was a very good way to look at it for me. It made it a lot less scary because I realized I didn't have to make a house straight away. I could just start with a brick, and a brick it's tiny. It's very small. So that brick, the way I interpreted it was a brick would be an hour of my time that I'd spend working on these things. And I would draw it. I would literally draw a wall, like with a pen. So I'd have my sheet of paper here, right? And I would sit down every day. And maybe I'd skip some days, but I would make an effort so that at least once a day, I would do, let's say, an hour of work. And an hour might just be one brick. So once you do that hour, you draw a brick. It could be 15 minutes, could be half an hour. Do whatever works for you. But an hour was a good thing for me. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to do this for as long as you can. So then the next day comes, you've done I remember my first hour of this felt really great. All I did was, I just said, okay, so for today, for an hour, I'm going to turn Photoshop on. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try to do something. Doesn't have to be perfect. It could be completely blank. Like, you might leave the canvas completely empty. That's fine. That's totally okay. As long as you made the time so that you had the potential to make something. It could have happened, but it couldn't have happened if you had decided to play a couple more rounds of Fortnite, perhaps, or something. Because I know I made a lot of bad habits. You know, I had a really bad habit of watching highlights from Dr. Phil on YouTube, and it's not very productive. You don't really get much done other than learning about all the other unfortunate kids there are on the planet. But anyway, so you do your first brick. It feels pretty good after you do it because it's like, okay, now I've got a brick. It feels great. The next day comes and you've got to be disciplined about this. You've got to make sure you keep doing it. So you draw the second brick after you've done another hour or another 15 minutes or whatever metric you want. But for my metric, it's an hour, and every hour is a brick. And the next day comes, you do another. And it starts to feel better, because now you see you've got 3 bricks now. And that's way better than having no bricks. And then you just keep going. And then maybe, I don't know, let's say you've got something on this day, so you can't work on it. Don't stress about it. If you're busy, don't worry about having to do 2 more the next day, because it's just going to make you stressed. And then if you get stressed, you're not going to want to do it anymore, right? Because who loves to purposely put themselves under stress? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you miss a day, yeah, that's fine. It's totally cool. Like, whatever, just keep going. So let's say the next day you get free. If you have the time, do it. And there you go. Now you've got the first row of bricks done. And then you move on to the next row, right? Draw another. Then let's say, I don't know, maybe today I'm feeling super productive. I'll do 2 hours. Whoa, check that out. I made a lot of progress. And then let's say, oh, I'm a bit busy the next day. But then let's say the day after I do another hour. Now, like individually, just an hour, right? Doesn't sound that big, does it? It's just an hour of work, right? You don't even have to do anything. Like, you can just sit in front of Photoshop and maybe nothing comes out, and that's fine. Maybe it doesn't come out for the first couple times, but then I guarantee you one of those times, you're going to get something. Something is going to come out, and you just draw it. It may look like crap. It doesn't matter, really. As long as something came out, it's just a lot better than not having all those bricks. I mean, look at that. I've got 2 rows here. That's way better than what we started with. And then let's say further up the road, let's say you get up to here, and let's say you put like a halfway mark. And maybe when you get to halfway, you buy yourself something nice, maybe. And you go to your favorite burger shop. I don't know, like, treat yourself, because you've earned it now. You're earning your rewards now. And let's say you get to the top of the page. Maybe that's an even bigger reward. Get yourself an Xbox or something, or a PlayStation, or I don't know, whatever you kids want nowadays. And then you make another page if it's working. Like if that worked for you and you run out of page, make another page, do more. It's going to feel great. Like it really would. I know it sounds crazy where it's like you're just drawing bricks on a sheet of paper, but trust me, your brain, when it sees that, it feels good because you see the progress. You visually see the progress, and it excites you. It excited me a lot. And what really excited me, I stuck this on the back of my door so that every day I see it. Every time I leave this room, I see it. This is the brick wall I have after about 2 or 3 months, right? I started this this easily like two months ago maybe. And like, look at all the bricks. Like that's easily over 100 bricks there, right? Now, that didn't just happen overnight, of course. Remember, these things take time. This took 2 months to do. All right? And that may sound slow. You may get impatient. You may think, oh, you haven't even finished the wall and it's 2 months. That's fine. Like, think about the alternative. Like, it's so much better than when you've got 0, right? When you've got 0 bricks, you know? And who knows, yeah, maybe your Counter-Strike level or your Fortnite Battle Pass level may be at 50 or whatever. But that's not productive. That's not going to help you in the future. But this stuff will, because you want to do it. If you want to be a creative and you want to create stuff, you got to get yourself in the habit of doing it. You got to make it part of your life. You got to make it part of your everyday activity if you can. If you can't, that's fine. I mean, everyone's got stuff, you know. Like I can't necessarily do something every single day consecutively, but I can make the time for it. I can make time. And as long as you can make time, like even if it's just like 15 minutes a week, like if that's the absolute minimum, like if you're worried like, oh, I don't have the time. Even just like 15 minutes a week, you could do it. Like it would be better than doing 0. Just anything that's better than 0. Like just start small. And if 15 minutes is working for you, go up to half an hour. And if that's working for you, then go up to an hour. And if that's not working, then go back to half an hour. Like it's really up to how you want to do it. It's how you want to pace it. Every creative person's different, and different things motivate them. The reward part for this doesn't necessarily motivate me too much, but having those bricks there, it feels pretty good. It feels like you see that you're accomplishing stuff. Now, I know it's strange. I haven't really uploaded much lately, but I am working on something. There's something happening here, something cool. I'm going to be sharing it soon when it's ready. But without those bricks, like that was contributing to some of the stuff I had done recently, like the visualizers stuff I'd worked on my channel, the tutorial for it as well. That's all those bricks. That's logging all that stuff, and then a lot of them are for this thing I'm doing. But we're not going to talk about that just yet. No, soon though. But yeah, so that was just that's something that worked for me to get me out of my artist block or whatever it's called. There's a lot of different names for it. But yeah, if you want to get yourself out of that habit, don't feel like it's hopeless. Like you can control how much time you spend. You can just give it a shot. Start small. Start very, very small. And it'll work. I promise you that. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And I hope this works for you. And if it doesn't work, that'd be very interesting. I like to see how it didn't work. That'd be cool. But if it does work, great. If it doesn't work, tell me why. I'd be interested. And I'll see you in the next video.